We were saying that it was a difficult day of listening to those testimonies today. Surely doesn't do it justice.
It's been heartbreaking, absolutely heartbreaking myself. Just hearing the testimony today of the mother, you'd understand that the child's testimony, we weren't allowed inside as the media, as well as the public wasn't allowed. It's only families and the people involved, the attorneys, that were allowed. In fact, the child was in another room during that court procession, and it was recorded live in a camera, in fact. But I am joined by the NPA spokesperson, who was part of the people inside the courtroom while that 8-year-old child was detailing what happened on the dreaded 22nd of November, 2nd of September, I beg your pardon, last year. Sispini, thank you for joining us. You were quite emotional when we came in, when we were allowed back inside court. But could you take us maybe some of the finer details of what the little girl had to say?
Indeed, yes. We were touched by the child victim when she testified, especially the last part of her testimony where she thanked the state for helping her. You know, that touched us deeply. Hence, you saw us being emotional, because remember when these victims come to us, we become their family. You know, we travel the journey with them. So it was a touching testimony that the child was giving to the court. She testified brilliantly, you know, precise to the point, and you know, the bravery. We just could not comprehend what how the child got it to come to court, tell the sequence of events, because today it was not about her telling the court about the initial or the main event of rape, because that was not in dispute, but rather it was about the sequence of event, how it actually, what happened before the main event of rape. She had to come and tell the court about and give evidence that rebuts what the accused was saying in his plea explanation, because you remember that in his plea explanation he says he acted impulsively, and as the state we had to prove to this court that he had an intention when he followed the child, because in his statement he says the child found me in the bathroom, but we are glad that the child came and gave testimony that says he's the one who followed me to the bathroom. So we had to prove intention, that by following the child he already had an intention to go and harm the child.
Sispini, now I understand that final arguments, closing arguments will be heard tomorrow, but how soon can we expect this case to be wrapped up?
Well, the case has been postponed for arguments in mitigation and in aggravation of sentence, which will happen tomorrow. The defense will take the stand first, and then the state later. But, well, we don't know. Probably we can say it's postponed also for possible judgment to be delivered, depending on the judge. If the judge feels that he still needs to go and apply his mind, it will obviously be postponed again tomorrow to a later date where he will deliver his judgment. But as the state, we are ready. We will be arguing for the imposition of life imprisonment sentence in line with the Minimum Sentences Act, which clearly stipulates that rape of a minor, the minimum prescribed sentence is life imprisonment.
And just lastly, I understand there were talks just before we adjourned that Nicholas Ninow, the self-confessed rapist, would take to the stand. We're seeing that's not happen. Is there a possibility of him taking to the stand?
Well, we don't want to preempt what will happen. We don't know the defense's plan, whether tomorrow he'll want to call Mr. Ninow to the stand to give evidence in mitigation for a lesser sentence, or he'll come with a documented evidence in mitigation for a lesser sentence. We really don't know what will happen. But from our side, as the state, we will be arguing, and the mother of the child will also be giving a victim impact statement, just to tell the court about how the incident has affected them as a family.
Thank you, Sispindi. That was the NPA spokesperson, just giving some of the details of what happened here today. But from the testimony that we heard from the mother, it was absolutely heartbreaking. The mother just basically detailing how when they went into that lady's bathroom where Nicholas Ninow and the child were, how the child was crying, "Mommy, please help me, Mommy, help me." And eventually when they pushed in, how Ninow went out naked, taking the child's clothes as well, Marcel, to the men's bathroom, flashing away the panty of the young child. A mother asking, "Why are you flashing this panty away?" and getting no reply. So it has really been heart-rendering testimonies that we've heard here today.
Indeed, we can only imagine what that little girl and her family have been through in the last year or so. Thank you so much. Avuyam Tila coming to us live there from the North Gauteng.